Bam. Okay. Theoretically, this should be working. Okay. Welcome, my allies from all around, to a brand new live stream in which I am hearing my voice come from one of my stream previews. I just had those open just to make sure that everything was working, as I normally do, to be fair. So yeah, we're doing a Craftaway stream, and we're on the Craft-to-Play Gaming District. Let me make sure everything's set up before I do anything. So there we go. I think that's good enough. Let's actually start heading off. So what I want to do is lots of terraforming. That's probably the top priority in all of this. I believe I already have, before the stream started, I set up like shulker boxes so that I would be able to... Okay, I thought I saw a creeper. So I have my shulker boxes set up so that I can have like dirt. I have like extra here. We'll see how much this like gets me through, because we still got a lot of island to cover. You can kind of see that like on the borders, I've not really been doing much. I was able to get a lot of the center, but we do have a lot of purple that needs taken care of, including this area, which I have no idea what this looks like. I think I might have just like dug it out earlier, just judging by how the mycelium is spreading. And it's like a hole in the ground that I just need to fill in to make sure that it's fine. So yeah, I'm trying to like get like a piece of meat off of like my out in between my teeth, because just before this I like the reason why the stream didn't start immediately when it had like the countdown go to 0 was because I was trying to eat something really quickly beforehand, since the last time I've ate was like 4, and I was like, I need a snack before I go into like a full out live stream mode. So yeah, excuse me there, but I'll try and do my best to you know, not worry about that kind of stuff as much. So let's go ahead and get like this kind of taken care of. I'm going to try to get this right here filled with grass. Is there anything else online? There is Racecrafter, but I feel like he's been AFK a lot recently, so hopefully he doesn't end up sleeping. Being able to go ahead and take care of the grass while it's nighttime is very nice, because whenever that happens, I don't actually have to worry about it spreading. Because if you didn't know, it needs like a certain light level to spread. I see a little head of a drowned down there, so hopefully it doesn't get us. But yeah, I can just go ahead and like place the grass and stuff here, and then place like dirt in between, so that it all ends up like turning out all right. And we have a person in chat, Maddie Pipewrench, if I'm seeing that correct. Yep, hello. Welcome to the stream. We are trying to terraform in the gaming district of Craft-to-Play. If you don't know what this is a Minecraft SMP Realm survival multiplayer. Over there are different like games and stuff that we have inside the gaming district, but I am trying to be able to actually change over all of the grass or all the mycelium over to grass, so that hopefully by the time this is all good, it won't have any like purple messes throughout. So that will hopefully be able to be a good thing in that respect. We're going to go ahead and get some grass so that we can fill this in before it becomes daylight, because otherwise it might be very bad to not have it be like that. And we're able to have it just be dirt and not actual grass, because it's surrounded so that the mycelium won't spread to it. That's something I've learned a lot over time, because we have done a giant island already. You saw the map at the beginning of the live stream. It was gigantic. We have a lot of grass just spread all throughout here. I'm just trying to finish it off, and even then it's a big island. So hopefully we'll be able to finish it off. But It all depends. Yeah, dirt is such a commodity. Yeah, thanks. Because I am hoping they'll end up being cool by the end of it. And it's like, it takes a lot of dirt to be able to do this thing. So that's one of the reasons it's been taking so long. So how long have I been working on it? Well, it's been on and off. I've been procrastinating mostly. So it probably took at least like a month to do like the majority of it. Ever since then, it's maybe like taken like a week. I'd say like it's been a month and a week's worth of progress altogether to be able to get this like going, and that's including resource gathering, because obviously it doesn't take that long to replace this stuff, but I also need to like gather dirt so that I can actually like go ahead and like replace it all. Like obviously I could go ahead and be all like, oh, I'm just going to use like a normal shovel instead of the Silk Touch one I'm using now, because if I had a normal one, it would turn all of my mycelium into dirt. So I wouldn't actually have to worry about that kind of stuff. But due to the fact that I want to actually keep all the mycelium, I'm probably going to go ahead and make a shop for the other members of the realm to be able to use. That's one of the reasons I've been wanting to gather all these materials. So hopefully I can maybe make a profit off of my labors instead of just fruitlessly damaging my shovel and rejuvenating it over time. Anyway, let's change the chat back there. I have like dual monitors if you're wondering. It's like I try and like balance between the two at times, and hopefully it doesn't end up being too distracting as I do that. Do you plan on making a regular island a mycelium island? That's actually, well, in a sense I am, but it's actually going to be like a floating island. So like our shopping district in the Craftaway Realm is completely made out of floating islands that are able to be like bought from. So we go through like another portal, and it goes up really high into the sky. And that's basically where everything is going to be. So I am hoping that that ends up turning out quite all right. But of course, it's not just like changing a already built island over to mycelium. It's also being able to actually end up custom building the island myself too. So there's a lot of logistics into it. Being able to make sure it turns out all right. Now, it is almost day. I kind of want like all of this mycelium gone so it doesn't like spread down, so I can replace the entire thing with dirt and call it good. Hopefully it will turn out all right though. But anyway, how are you doing this fine night anyway? Maddie Pipe Wrench. Hopefully I'll memorize that later on, but I have to like look over to make sure I'm getting it right. So yeah. I'm doing pretty well myself. I just got done from work. I work I'm doing well. Yeah, that's good. I am also doing quite well. What was I going to say? I was like, oh, I always do this. I'm on a train of thought, and I'm all like, I have no idea what I was going to say next. So, oh yeah, my work. Because I like actually work for my my college at the moment. Like I'm in verification, so I get to be able to fill out people's transcripts as they are applying. And although people say it's a boring job, I have like 90 words per minute. Like I type super fast, so I really enjoy being able to just like utilize my skills to be able to make everything like turn out fine and have people successfully get a higher education. So yeah. Let's go ahead and actually get rid of these guys, since they're actually kind of in the way of where we're building. We can go ahead and have more dirt here. And yeah. But anyway, have you actually seen like different episodes of Craftaway, or are you like kind of new to this whole entire thing? Because Craftaway is a realm that not only I work on, but it is other people who are able to go ahead and do all that kind of stuff. It is on the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. We are not on Java PC, although you can play it on PC if you are on Windows 10. So yeah, that is one thing about that. Honestly, most of our players are playing on PC. I'm currently playing on the Xbox. Of course, I have to put down my ender chest again to be able to, or do I? Because I have like this box here. Yeah, I do need like a little bit more dirt to be able to work on. Haven't seen the stream before, no. Yeah, so I think you're on Twitch. That's actually that's something I didn't account for. Is that I don't think Twitch actually has like any of the Castaway like links on it. Yeah, but there is like a whole entire like Craftaway Discord realm link and stuff that you can be able to like check out all the content. I'm just going to edit the panels now and see if I can do that to be able to because it's on YouTube that I have like the link. Nope, I don't have it on YouTube actually. I am so unprepared. I have the link here though. It's very easy for me to get whenever I do a video. That's like one of the things I have. So I'm going to just submit it, put it onto there, and I'm just going to like send it in chat too so people can be able to see it. Because that's like the channel in which you can see like all the different like Castaway content and stuff, and all of like that coolness. And yeah, I don't stream all the time on here. I've been trying to vary up my streams. I'm very experimental at the moment. I have no idea what I want to do because my channel is primarily Minecraft, and that's not a bad thing because I really like the game. But I have so many other projects that I also want to do because I am a game. I use that term lightly. I am a game connoisseur, entrepreneur, whatever the word is. I would say I'm a game developer, but I'm not really. I'm currently working on one project that I think will be pretty cool. Like being able to have this game called Alliances, which, believe it or not, I actually came up with that name before I even changed my channel to Allies All Around. So who knows what influenced what on that case. But yeah, because I've been trying to go ahead and develop that game a bit, but it's in the Unity engine, and I actually don't know much about the Unity engine. I've been trying to like learn a little bit more about like being able to use like the user input schemes. I really want to make it so that you can use a controller or you can use a keyboard, like other kinds of things like that. Multiplayer is like a necessity in the game, so you can't see what the other players are doing and all that. But yeah, it's all just a lot of things I need to figure out. Yeah, I need to place like dirt on like all of this area here too, I believe. Be able to make sure it doesn't I do need to make sure that when I'm placing it though, it doesn't spread, so that like the mycelium doesn't go on top of the dirt at all. But yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, it's like, I think it would be, but I'm also really afraid it's going to be like me floundering around. So I kind of want to do streams and stuff. I am actually streaming with Restream. Anyway, let's do one train of thought at a time. So I am, yeah, considering doing the... I get so off track, so that's the reason why I need to do like one thought at a time. So I want to stream like me developing the game, but at the same time I'm like, well, if I do so, it really needs to be that I end up having like a plan for the whole entire thing, and I have like a kind of idea of what I need to be able to build. Because obviously I like can follow tutorials online and stuff, but I'm wondering if that would be interesting for me to like commentate over that and that kind of stuff. I need to make sure that with my dual monitor setup, I can be able to have it so that one monitor is like dedicated to actually showing you guys what is going on with all that kind of stuff in the game development. And yeah, it's a very interesting kind of thing. I might reveal a little bit more about what the game is actually talking about, but let's actually answer this question here. So it's like, am I streaming with Restream? I am. It's on both YouTube and Twitch at the moment. I'm like not sure if I should also stream on Mixer. I feel like it would benefit me to do so, but I also don't know anything about the platform. So yeah, that would be cool, but then couldn't someone take your idea? Well, it's more like a broad idea of what the game is like. Like, obviously, like, someone could, but it's like... I thought so because I didn't know if I was on Twitch right away. Yeah, it's like, definitely, like, just a lot about, like, the Restream stuff. I don't know, just... With Restream, it's like, I just want it to be so that it's like, if people prefer watching on YouTube, they can. If people prefer watching on Twitch, they can. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what platform you watch on, because your messages are still going to appear on screen, and I'm still going to respond to you. But yeah, if someone could steal my idea, like, I'm probably going to sell the game for free anyway. But that all depends on like the future. It's mostly like the matter of like I'm not really going to give too much away about the game. It's just mostly like I have like a broad concept in my mind that I have like specifics for, but obviously I wouldn't talk about them too much. It's like it's a game in which like it's 2 players. The original concept was that I could have 4. It's like either a 2-player or a 4-player, but I developed it for 2 because it's a complex game, and the other 2 players play like a completely different role, which I have no idea what it's even going to be at this point, because they could like be freelancers in which they don't have like any control over what's happening in the game, but they like can maybe win. I don't know, because I think that it would only make sense to have it so that only the 2 main players could win the game and the freelancers do nothing. Well, not nothing, but they more influence the game. It's a weird concept that I just like came up with because I was like, there's not very many, like, because it was originally going to be a board game, that there wasn't very many like games in which you like truly like had like this government structure in which like not everyone was part of this government, but you also had like extra people, you know, like just people who could do whatever like you wanted to. And they had like a certain alliance to a nation, but obviously like they could like be double agents and all that stuff. It's going to be an interesting concept to implement. And if someone steals it, well, I don't necessarily mind because I kind of want to play that game. But otherwise, it's more like, well, it's my first ever game that I'm going to finish. Like, I've created games in the past, but they were like very much prototypes that I thought were mediocre. They were more like top-down shooters that like had spaceships and stuff. But yeah, it's all a matter of like what happens, all that kind of stuff, and I'm hoping it turns out being good. But then there's like, of course, logistical issues, like the fact that if I end up going with that idea, well, what's going to happen with my channel? Like, what's my channel going to become? And all that kind of stuff. That's probably the main thing that I'm concerned with at the moment is, well, I have so many plans for Minecraft. I love the game. but I have to sacrifice some of that to be able to actually do my programming stuff. And thank you very much for supporting that idea. We'll see if it happens. I'm still going to work on the game. Even if I don't show content of me working on the game, I'm still going to work on it. But we'll see if I actually stream and do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Because there's a lot of things I need to consider. Like, I want to play other games, but there's not very many other games that have that feel as Minecraft does. Like, I can build whatever I want to in this game, and, like, no one can stop me. Like, in Halo 5, I was thinking, like, there is a mode, like, Forge mode, in which you can, like, create whatever you want to, but it's limited to builds. You can't really, like, live in the buildings. That's the cool thing about Minecraft, is, like, you can be all like, hey, I'm going to, like, live in the house I built. In Halo 5 Forge, it's like, oh, here's a cool thing that looks cool, but you can do nothing with it. Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much else to say. It's like, I think the funny thing is, in Halo Reach Forge was like the first Forge mode that I truly got into. And I loved minigames. Like, I always created minigames inside of them to be able to, like, do whatever. But not many people played them. I think they're still on my file share on Halo Reach. But, yeah, it's just one of those things that's, like, I kind of like being able to have that aspect where it's like, oh, you, like, play the game in a completely different way. Because it's obviously, like, a shooter game. But I played it as though, like, oh, I created a game mode called Dodgeball. And you go ahead and, like, throw these, like, plasma grenades in which, like, it hits the player. And once it does, then they're basically out of the game. And you have, like, a certain lives it goes to, a certain amount of rounds. It was such an interesting concept. And I feel like I could probably do the same thing in Minecraft. But there was just that feel that it's like, oh, yeah, this is, like, totally, like, weird and fun to be able to just, like, play the game in a completely unintended way. I love doing games like that. That's one of the main concepts of my, like, Make It New series I did, like, forever ago. Why is this open? Yeah, whatever, I'll fill it in. But yeah, you can see that there's giant patches of mycelium over here, though, because there's, like I was saying earlier, there's just tons to do in this whole entire area. And you can kind of see it more now instead of the earlier areas in which there was not much. Yeah, I almost forgot about my Make It New series. Like, that was that was like an embarrassing part of my channel on YouTube. Because I had terrible audio quality, even though I'm using the same mic. Which is actually hilarious. It's like, you can use the same equipment, but that doesn't change your, like, quality of video. Like, it's only, like, once you learn how to use your equipment, does your, like, video quality improve. Like, back then, it's like, I held my mic, like, right next to my face, and, like, I spoke super loudly, so that it just made it so that, like, the audio, overlaid, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it just, like, it couldn't handle that, like, high of a frequency, so it, like, distorts the quality. And yeah, it's like, just after you learn how to be able to create more and more content, you learn how to actually be better. And it's not necessarily like the camera that makes the player or the YouTuber, streamer, or whatever. Because a bad craftsman blames his tools. Yeah, it's a trial and error process. Very much true. It took quite a bit of error for me. But I did learn. And I'm glad I learned, because otherwise I would never be part of this Craftaway Realm. the people on the realm would have been all like, this guy is just not very good. We're not going to have him on. Because I'm most definitely the youngest person on the realm. But yeah, it's like, it's good to know that I was able to improve. Not that. Twitter so I can see your next stream time. You should put a schedule with the Streamlabs panel so viewers can see when you will be on. I thought about that, and I probably could. I'm just lazy. If I'm to be completely honest, that's mostly the reason why anything happens on this channel, is because I am lazy. I should, and I might make a point to do that. Maybe like over spring break, I will, just because I'll have like extra time. I might need to put on like my to-do list or something. I know on YouTube, what's really awesome is that it automatically like makes it so that it's like you can say, oh, like it'll schedule it, and it puts it like in your in the subscriptions tabs of your viewers. It says like, oh, it's going to start at this time and all that kind of stuff. Twitch, I do like Twitch, but it takes a little bit more work to be able to have that full customization that makes it so you can see all that stuff. But yeah, I'll probably do it at some point. It's just, I'll be honest, I am a very lazy person. I procrastinate a lot. It's surprising that I get straight A's, honestly. Maybe I'm just lucky. You just set it up once and you're good to go, unless you change the stream times. A lot of games now too. Yeah. I will admit, I think I probably could have done it at one point, but I was just like, I didn't know, since like my stream right now is set up with like restream due to the fact that I'm like streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. But I need more grass blocks. I have like a short box on me somewhere, right? Grass blocks, there we go. Because I wasn't sure if like I needed to like set up truly like through Streamlabs and all that stuff, and I was like afraid that, oh, if I do that, I'd have to like log in like every time and all that stuff. But yeah, if it is just like a quick setup thing, maybe I shouldn't be so afraid of like preemptively saying it's going to take a bunch of work, and I should be all like, okay, it's going to take a little bit, but it's probably not going to be all that much. But yeah, do you stream at all? Because you might know like a little bit about the process, like from how you're speaking right now. Thanks for the stream. It was nice to watch and chat with you. I'm going to play some games now too. Alright, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. And yeah, I'll see you in another stream if you end up being able to catch it on Twitter and all that stuff. And I will see you later. I'll still be here. And oh, by the way, before you go, unless you've already gone, of course, the rest of the stream will be on my Behind the Frontline channel. So I'm not sure if it's actually visible from Twitter, but I know that from Twitter you can go see my Allies All Around YouTube page. And from there, you can see my Behind the Frontline channel. I know it's such a terrible process of getting to there. But the Behind the Frontline channel has all of my stream archives, so you can check them out even after the streams have ended. And they'll be forever there instead of the alternative of Twitch, because Twitch deletes your streams after like very short time. I started streaming too, and I learned Streamlabs. It's super easy. Yeah, it's just one time. Yeah. Of course, I would have to schedule it like every time, unless it has like that kind of thing. But yeah, nice. I'll check them out then. All right, cool. But yeah, if you are going to go, then have a good time. And yeah, I'll have to look at what you're streaming and stuff, like if it's whatever, like kind of content and all that. I don't trust that horse. I don't think that horse was there, and this is a lightning storm. Let's go for it. Ah! I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I need to be able to like hit them off of their high horse. Then we'll get lots of these guys. Man, they have a lot of armor on. They don't seem very menacing. They're literally just standing still. But yeah. Wow, that was super simple. That was way too easy. I can just go ahead and gather like all this XP here and the bones and stuff. And there we go. We have a bunch of horses. And they don't need saddles either. I think that because they're undead though, which is unfortunate, is that they don't actually like float anymore. Although they do act like submarines, which is kind of cool. Like unlike the other horses, like that kick you off as you like go down, these can be like used underwater, which is like very cool. But yeah, I have no idea what to do with these horses. I could transport them all the way back to my like underground cave base. Maybe I'll do that like later, but for now they're just gonna stay. They're just gonna be fun little companions around. But yeah, let's continue to go ahead and do all these grass blocks. Okay, I'm just gonna ride a horse because this guy's just gonna get in the way. Unless riding on a horse is going to restrict the ability for me to be able to do all these blocks, which it probably is. But it might be fun to do it like that. Yeah, I feel like being on a horse actually like slows down the amount of time I can like, or increases the amount of time it takes to mine a block. Like as though I'm like floating in air or something, which is interesting. Like I wouldn't have thought that that would be an influence. But I guess it kind of makes sense, you know. Digging on a horse is very much a difficult thing to do. But yeah, I haven't drinking water in a long time. I'm going to do that right now, off screen. Since there are logos on my water bottle that I don't necessarily want to show. Go ahead and move all these around and stuff and all that, and yeah, let's just put another block there. I think the mycelium was spreading a little bit, so I gotta also try and like just make it look right where it needs to be. Hopefully it doesn't end up being awful. And yeah, I feel like the mushrooms are also spawning on the grass. Like I feel like they spawn on grass more than they spawn on the mycelium for some reason. Like I don't know why. It doesn't seem like that would be the case. Like honestly, like it doesn't make sense that that would be the case in my opinion. But perhaps that's what's happening. I just genuinely don't know. But anyway, because this area is completely encapsulated with all the grass, I can just go ahead and like replace all this stuff and call it good. But anyway, it stopped raining. I'm wondering if Racecrafter slept or if it's just that it stopped raining naturally. I don't have a bed on me, so I'm not able to like skip any nights or anything. I don't need to, for reasons discussed earlier. But yeah. I remember when I like wanted the yeah. Spawn Town changed a lot. Because I remember like back when the gaming district was going to be like this fenced off area that was like behind the courthouse. Looking back, that was just a terrible idea. Like it probably would have been fine, honestly. But like the way that Spawn Town is like huge and all that now, and it like reaches a lot further back than that, it just doesn't make sense for where it was. So being able to have it be where it is now, in which the gaming district can be a nice, fun little place that people can even like not worry about like mobs spawning. Like you can create like a super dark atmosphere like I did with like my ghost ship ride, and it will still like be able to just be fine. What was I going to say? I just started singing, and it's like, I feel like that loses my train of thought more than anything else. I think it's mostly because I'm thinking about things I probably shouldn't say. Like, things that have been going on, like, in the Discord chat, that it's like, well, that's kind of, like, private. Well, not necessarily private, but more like spoiler stuff. And it's not guaranteed that anything's going to come of it. But I'm excited for what might happen for Craftaway. Just because, like, we have, like, so many plans that I think will be really fun to implement, and we've got, like, all kinds of stuff that will be really nice to be able to do. And I know that's very vague, but it's about as detailed as I can be without, like, revealing information that probably shouldn't be revealed yet due to it not being finalized. Okay, great. Just one piece of dirt block. Yeah, we just have grass there. I have dirt here, so I can probably just grab some of that. I'm going to grab my mycelium box too, so I can, like, place some of that down. Not have to worry about that anymore. So I can go ahead and collect a bunch of this stuff that's already taken out all the contents of that box. And yeah. So here we go. Let's go ahead. Fill in the blocks. Fill them in. Oh yeah, that's also one thing I gotta think of is streaming music. Cause I can probably stream music, but I'm afraid because the problem is I upload all of my stream archives to the Behind the Frontline channel, but I stream on the Allies All Around channel. So if I use music during the stream, like I'm afraid of the legalities that might occur if I have it on the Behind the Frontline channel. It gets, like, copyright striked, and what happens if I can't go ahead and dispute it, because, like, I might not be able to like, link it back, because I'm buying, like, my royalty-free music under the company name Allies All Around, so that it can be, like, directly linked with my channel. But if I post it to Behind the Frontline, it has a very vague link to the Allies All Around channel. Like, obviously, like, if someone went ahead and was all like, okay, I'm going to, like, look into this, see if this person is the same person, they would see, yep, Allies All Around is the exact same person as Behind the Frontline. But I'm afraid that maybe those copyright strike people aren't really caring about, like, doing everything right, but they're caring more about doing it in a timely fashion, which to their like defense, that's probably a good way to go about it. Like, if you can't truly prove that a person is the one who owns, like, the license to use copyrighted music, like, maybe it's best that you end up, like, questioning it and maintaining the copyright dispute. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. I could alternatively just go ahead and be all like, hey, I'm going to purchase the music under Allies All Around. I'm going to purchase it again under Behind the Frontline. But I feel like that's, like, you know, a little redundant, especially since I'm the same person. You know? Because I would have to, like, respectively, like, buy it for each of my companies. I call it companies, but it's like channels. YouTube and being able to be, like, an individual, like, making content on the site, it's just a little bit of a weird scenario through it all. But it's what it is. So anyway, the sun is setting, which means we will soon be able to go ahead and not worry about like making sure the mycelium doesn't spread anywhere it doesn't need to, or it shouldn't. That's the word, where it shouldn't be spreading. And we will be able to just go ahead and like place it wherever we want to. Not there. You don't care. I don't. What? There. You don't care. More like I don't care, but I kind of do. I kind of want to make this place look as nice as possible with all the mycelium and stuff. If anyone is wondering, like this area here, I like terraformed so that like the area would be like nice and like flat in most areas and all that kind of stuff like first, and now I'm like going in and implementing all of the grass. So it's like, it's not like I need to worry about like making sure like the terrain like fully meets my needs. I already did that earlier. Like all I need to do is just block for block, just try and wherever there's mycelium block, replace it with grass. Just place it down, grass block, call it good. I feel like I have more grass than dirt. Like, I don't know, I feel like somewhat I probably should be trying to use my dirt more since it's easier to get dirt than it is to get grass. But I also kind of know that it's like, I have a lot of grass though. I use it too sparingly that I end up having a bunch of like grass but like no dirt. So there's a little bit of a dilemma there. I am going to outline this area with grass. So I can go ahead and like replace the areas up here that are full of mycelium without worrying about like where it goes and all that. Pick those up. And call good. I'm also a little annoyed at how my face isn't centered, so I'm going to put it there. I'm still not sure if that's centered. I normally adjust this before the stream, but I just noticed that it's like, doesn't seem quite right to me. But maybe it was. Maybe I just moved my seat a little bit and it was fine before. I need grass, and I don't know where my shulker boxes went. I placed them down somewhere and left them. There they are. The whole of them are over there. Yeah, a place that I don't need them. I think here is a good place to have them, since it's kind of in the middle of everywhere. So we can have one there. Yeah, that one's empty. We can probably put that one in the ender chest, honestly. Put you there. Ayo, JCam420. What is up? Yo, what is up, JPFet13? Did somebody raid me? There's a lot of... That was like two people like joining at once there, so I wasn't sure. So yeah, welcome to the stream. It's like we are doing Craftaway. So like this is the gaming district. The games are over there. You can't really see them here. Well, you kind of can off in the distance, like if I move a little bit closer. But yeah, we're trying to replace all of this because this was a mushroom biome. Replace all the mycelium with grass. So yeah, anyway, I'm not sure if that was directed towards me, but I am doing fine. And I'm wondering how you guys are doing, because hopefully you guys are doing good tonight. I just got done, well, I guess not just got done. That was like over an hour ago that I got done with work. But yeah, I'm just chilling here, being able to do a nice little live stream in which I can be able to transform this whole entire area. It's actually cool. Yeah, doing good. That's good to hear. So I am. This is a nice live stream. Well, thanks. I'll admit that I am a little bit new at streaming, so hopefully it ends up being a good one. I'm hoping that eventually I am making my voice a little bit better, because I try to make it so that it's like my voice is as soothing as possible. It's like my voice naturally is quite deep. I sometimes make it a little bit higher to make it so that people can hear me a little bit better. But yeah, don't feel worried about it. Thanks. Yeah, it's like I worry about it sometimes because like I have been known for a lot of my life as being a super deep voiced person, but I've met so many people who have deeper voices than me. I'm all like, oh, I can't even compare. So yeah, thank you all about that. So I think I missed a message earlier. How's it going? Tanman12345. Yep, that is a new person. Welcome to the stream, man. It's good to see you here. We're just streaming on Craftaway, which is a Minecraft SMP realm. This I am actually playing with like all kinds of other people inside of a world on the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. So this is a version that you can like play with like Pocket Edition people. It's on the Switch. It's on. I'm playing on the Xbox One currently. I have a controller. Technically, you can plug in a controller to your other devices too. Like it can like use controller controls. Is that? I guess that's true. It uses controller controls like on Windows 10, on the phone, and of course the console edition, since you know they're native to those editions of the game. But yeah, it's nice to have all of you here to be able to go ahead and chill and replace all this mycelium. So if you may be wondering why I'm using a Silk Touch shovel if I'm like, well, I guess I haven't really discussed too much about my concerns about this whole entire thing, but I am very much on a shortage of dirt. I am trying to be able to use up, like, gather tons of dirt from like mine shafts and all that from different areas in which we don't really need to like worry about like landscaping or any of that. And one of the main problems with using a Silk Touch shovel during this whole entire process is that whenever I gather up mycelium, I don't get dirt, I get mycelium. But I'm doing that so that I can actually end up eventually creating a shop in the shopping district later on the realm, so that people can go ahead and buy the goods from me. It'll be all nice so that I can probably make a profit off of this. I don't know. Already this has been a long project, like probably a month, like basically like 5 weeks worth of terraforming to be able to do most of this. Like I flattened out the areas so that people could be able to like build different games without worrying about the terrain constraints so much. And eventually I decided, well, I decided early on, but eventually I ended up actually getting the opportunity to go ahead and replace all of the mycelium blocks with grass blocks instead. So with that, we're able to get this nice, awesome color, because in the mushroom biome, this is a giant mushroom biome, by the way, if you were wondering. In the mushroom biome, the grass, for some reason, is very saturated, which I like. Having a very saturated color of grass makes it so that it's all nice and vibrant. You can use all kinds of different leaves and stuff. Like, I almost feel like it's slightly more vibrant. Either that or, like, the same vibrancy as a jungle biome. If you know about that whole entire thing. Because in that way, in that respect, it very much is a good decision to be able to make this thing all nice, colorful, and beautiful. So anyway, let's go ahead and keep on doing this. Lots of different blocks placement and being able to chill. So anyway, anything you guys want to talk about? I did talk about future of my channel earlier because not only am I streaming this on Twitch actually that you guys are watching on. I don't think anyone's watching on YouTube currently, but I am streaming on both platforms simultaneously so that people can be able to choose whatever platform they want to see this on. Because it's on the Allies All Around channel. And both definitely have their benefits. Twitch and YouTube are very nice platforms to stream. Have their benefits for separate reasons, but won't get into that too much. Because earlier I was talking about like the future of my channel, which I was wondering about whether or not I should like show off the progress in which I kind of want to create a video game. Because I'm currently working on like a project within the Unity engine, Unity. Sometimes I like don't pronounce it quite correctly, so I want to like confirm it's like Unity, not like Unity. It's like I mumble a lot, so or at least I mumble a lot when speaking that word. But let's not get distracted, shall we? Because I am like in the middle of creating a video game, which was originally going to be a board game, but I thought, hey, I'm learning Unity. I think that it might be a good idea to go ahead and make it like this, especially since it's a very complex board game in which like you have to calculate like currency and how much like money you're spending and all that, and I feel like it actually would be greatly simplified if I ended up just making it its own separate entity. So there we go, we have different sections sectioned off here. Okay, Super Tired, going to call it a night. I want you to know that you're a super awesome streamer. Thanks for making my night. Oh, that's so... Thank you so much for the kind words. I'll see you later at some point, JBFet13. If you do want to catch up on this stream later on, all my stream archives are on the Behind the Frontline channel. I followed you. Have a great day. Yeah, thank you guys for coming out to the stream. Yeah, but all my past broadcasts are on the Behind the Frontline channel. If you like follow... Okay, so this is going to be a very non-straightforward way of getting there. But if you go to my Twitter, that's basically where my main channel is, the Allies All Around YouTube channel. And you can kind of see like on the channel links on the side, like there's super allies and stuff. The Behind the Frontline channel is one in which I have like my past stream broadcasts, like I upload them there so that even after they expire on Twitch, you're able to still watch them like early on in the whole entire process. Give you a follow, so I'll make it to the next stream. Yeah, nice to have that follow. I'm sorry that it's not showing up on the screen there since I don't necessarily have it like set up to show that. I want to set that up eventually at some point here so that it like automatically like shows who's like following and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, still nice to know that you guys appreciate the content, and I will see you at some other point here. Anyway, I need a little bit of water, so I'm going to drink off screen since it has logos on it. I don't necessarily want to show them. So this will take like maybe 5 seconds. You know? Gotta make sure that it's not showing. So there we go. After talking a while, it's like I need water. I try and get a gallon a day, or I say a gallon a day. I should say 4 liters a day, but stinking imperial system. I'm too Americanized. Yeah, it's fine. Honestly, the Imperial system, like, even though it's like a little bit like odd, it's not like it's a terrible system for measuring like things. It doesn't work in science, but in everyday life, it's not like it's a terrible system to use, and you shouldn't feel bad for ever like using Imperial units. It's just I try personally to convert everything to metric when I can. But that's a whole nother topic, unless you want to talk about that. Because one of those things that's like, I always like, yeah, how about let's talk about that? Because it actually is kind of related to something on my like channel, because I always like mention my stream dates and whenever I release videos in relation to GMT, which is strange because I live in Arizona. GMT is like what time it is in like the UK and like that kind of thing. So why do I use it? Because it's literally the standard by which all other time is based upon. Although some people call it UTC because universal like time something, I don't know exactly the acronym, but UTC is exactly the same as GMT, and it's basically like something that people like the military, I believe, might use at some points, depending, and like in some scenarios, and like in many ways, like where you want to be able to communicate across time zones, it becomes very useful in that kind of a way. So the reason why I use GMT is because it's very much a standard by which I believe it just makes things simpler to be able to convey information to people. Like personally, I know that since I live in Arizona, it's always my time is whatever GMT is minus 7 hours. So I can go ahead and be all like, okay, I want to start my stream at 8:30 p.m., which is actually when I start my streams. That means that in GMT, to be able to convert it to a time zone in which everyone can easily convert from, it ends up being that it's so I just add 7 hours, and it becomes that my stream ends up starting 3:30 a.m. of the next day. Which, unfortunately for streams, it does make it a little bit confusing, since I stream on Saturdays in the UK, while in America, I mostly stream on Friday, except for people on the East Coast, I believe, because people on the East Coast who are watching, even though I will start the stream on a Friday, it will like go past midnight to the point where it's the next day already, which we could go on a whole rant about why days are weird and like how like midnight's just a really obscure way of like saying, oh, when does the next day start and when is the next one be, or when is one day start and or when I keep saying it weird, when does one day end and the next day start is what I really kept trying to say. But yeah, definitely like an interesting like thing with that. Anyway, on track. Sometimes I lose track, and that's the reason why I have like really abrupt like transitions where I'm like, I have no idea what I was going to say, so I'm just going to say, well, things are interesting with that. That's basically like my default. I don't know what I'm going to say, so I'm just going to go with a very generic phrase. So, what was it I was going to say? On the subject of universal things. So, like obviously my stream started like GMT 3:30 a.m. on Saturday, the 16th of February. But it's like I also try and use like metric in other cases too. I know that like UTC isn't really metric, but it's a standard And that's the same as what metric is. Like, it's just a standard by which everyone's on the same track to be able to use the same units. So, like, ends up being that, what is it? Like, I tried to talk in terms of Celsius, but I struggle with that one a lot. Meters I'm alright with, kind of, in some cases. What's the one I'm best at? I'm best at fluids, like volumes, because I know that it's like, it's not exact. That's actually how we got on the subject anyway. It's like, I'm not exact with it, but I basically know that like 500 milliliters is a cup. So from that information I can derive that, okay, if 500 milliliters is a cup, I can know what like a liter is basically a pint, although I think a liter is slightly more than what a pint is. Like if we're like comparing imperial and stuff. But yeah, it's like there's just that conversion I'm really good at. Mass is interesting because pounds isn't actually a measure of mass. And pounds, like, whether or not, how's the best way to explain this? Like, the kilogram is a measure of mass. It's a measure of, like, how many molecules are inside of a object, like how dense they are, like what's the composition of them, like that kind of thing. Weight is how much gravity affects that body on a certain object. So weight on Earth is different than weight on Mars, which is different than weight on Jupiter, you know, etc. But mass is the same everywhere. So it's interesting to convert kilograms to pounds when pounds is a measure of weight and kilograms is a measure of mass. And on Earth, it's pretty simple because on Earth, it's kind of like, they're interchangeable. Like, you know that like a certain amount of kilograms is going to be a certain way on a scale and all that, and that's just like not a problem. But like once you go on different planets, like the kilogram conversion to a pound is actually going to change, which I find it interesting, but maybe that's because I'm in physics. I'm a computer. Well, I guess computer science major has nothing, well, not nothing to do with physics, but it's not very related to physics is what I'm getting at. But yeah. Go ahead and fill this stuff in. Let's talk about something Minecraft related. How about? I have no idea how many people are watching this at the moment. Last time I checked, there was one extra person. I think there still is. He's just a lurker. But yeah. So let's talk about my adventure map. Like, I'm trying to work right now on, well, technically I'm working on multiple adventure maps, but one of them's like a project that we'll see what happens with it, because I have created Aztec Labs, which is an adventure map on the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. You can download it whenever you want to. It's available on, like, you can play it on Pocket Edition, you can play it on your Windows 10, you can, if you have realms and convert the world over through the other services, then you can play it on the Xbox and Switch, but there's no easy way to do it if that's the only version of the game you own, which is a little unfortunate, but I have no way of like controlling that. But yeah, it's like it ends up being that I'm working on like multiple projects to do with the kind of like adventure map stuff is that one of them's like a redstone maze. The redstone maze was a concept actually invented for Aztec Labs. I got an email, yeah, okay. I already knew that. Because when I first like was analyzing adventure maps from the past, mazes was something that people consistently hated. And I knew why, because it's randomized. Whenever you make something that's not skill-based and like it lasts forever because you have to work your way around and around and all that kind of stuff, people get bored of it and people get angry at it. So like I wanted to create a maze that was skill-based. I wanted to create a maze that people wouldn't get bored of, and that it would like interest the player and be like a whole different like puzzle aspect to it. And that was when I came up with the concept of the redstone maze. I actually did stream that pretty recently. I forget when that was, but I think it was like 2 streams ago. So that would have been like the 1st of February. I'm not sure, but I feel like I did it pretty recently. So yeah, it's like I'm actually creating a whole adventure map just related to that aspect of the game of Aztec Labs. Just because I think it would be a really fun concept to bring to life, in which you could have it so that like it's a insanely huge area, and you get to like collect different areas throughout, see like different scenery and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not much scenery since a maze consists of hallways. That's basically the scenery you get, but it's like different hallway designs and things that I find like interesting to be able to build, and like building it in like a 3 by 3 tunnel all the way down, where it's also like has a certain art to it to be able to make it like unique throughout, but also interesting and not just like completely bland. So there's like a lot of like working with block palettes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting little concept that hopefully will end up being good. So let's actually talk about like other adventure map like project stuff. So that one's the main one that I'm working on at the moment. But another one that is kind of in the back burner is the sequel to Aztec Labs. So to really discuss Aztec Labs, I kind of need to be able to really talk about like what's going on or what's up with that map itself. And to do that, I need to drink a little bit more water. All right. So with Aztec Labs, it's a pun on Aztec, like the civilization, and technology. So it has like an H at the end of what would just be like Aztec with ending with a C. So it was like a map that I built spontaneously. And when I say spontaneously, I mean literally. I did not plan to have Aztec Labs be as big as it was. Because I built the map all within the console edition of Minecraft. Like the Xbox One edition. Like not the Bedrock that we're playing on right now. Like there was no crossplay. It's like if you were playing on the Xbox One edition, you could play with Xbox One players. If you're on the 360 edition, which was kind of the same game but was still like different, like you would only be able to play with Xbox 360 players. And with those like editions of the game, like I just found this giant like biome. Like I had large biomes enabled, and I created a map in which we had I'm trying to describe it here. Because there was just this giant jungle biome in which it basically took up, like on a scale like of 1 to 8 or 8 to 1, however you put it, like so that 1 pixel on the map equals a 8 by 8 area of blocks. It took up like a 9 by 9 area of those maps. And that's pretty massive. That's a pretty massive jungle. Like this area here, like with this, like mushroom biome and stuff, like the mycelium and all that. This map, this like island encompasses a 3 by 3 area, but that's on a scale of 1 to 1. So imagine this biome, but 8 times bigger, and even bigger than that. I feel like the 9 by 9 or the 3 by 3 map area that I'm like citing in my mind, like it extended past that. So it wasn't like you would still be able to continue out further until you actually reach the border of where the jungle reaches a different area. Oh, we do have extra dirt. Oh, I kind of forgot about that actually. That we were able to go ahead and collect that. So let's go ahead and grab some of that. We'll go ahead and like put some of this random junk that we've accumulated into there. And I guess we'll be able to continue on through. But once I discovered that giant jungle biome, that was the point in which I was all like, hey, I'm going to build like a nice like jungle, a nice little jungle. I'm struggling to find the words. A nice little like jungle village. And I kind of did. I have a video on that on the Behind the Frontline channel in which that part of the map, awful. Like not I guess not terrible, but it just wasn't good enough to be what Aztec Labs was. So it's like I started the village and it was a fun little project, and like as I was building, I was watching Stampy and Squid adventure maps, which if you haven't heard of Stampy and Squid, well, I really enjoy their adventure maps, but it's like I guess it's not for everybody. Well, they weren't the ones who created the adventure map. It was just like they had a series in which they ended up like playing them. I also have no idea why I'm using the grass I just gathered to just pretty much make a pointless area here. But anyway, it's like I was watching them, and the thing about their series in which they were doing all the adventure maps is that the adventure maps they play are designed not that great. And every time I like rewatched their series, I was like, I feel like I know enough about Redstone to make it so that that can't happen. Like I wanted to make it so that like all the flaws that happened like to like the shops that like were in there and all the random stuff that like they broke, like the players shouldn't be able to break the map. Like obviously they can like do something that isn't 100% intended, and you can't like prevent all scenarios from like being prevented within the game of Minecraft, since it's such an open-ended game. But you can do a lot to be able to prevent people from being able to like 100% make it so that like the map is like unplayable. And I was just thinking like I could totally make a map that, or I can totally like revamp the redstone so that this like wouldn't happen. And eventually it like snowballed, and I was all like, I can make an adventure map. And eventually I was like, but I kind of want to build a team. And then I was like, I don't need a build team. I want to do it on my own. And that's what I did. Because as much as it probably benefits you to be able to have like a team of people to be able to work on a map and have it be all like good and stuff. Like, I knew that to make the map as good as I wanted it to be, I couldn't have any interference. Like, there's a saying in programming, like, like, it takes one man to create a program. I'm going to like not, I'm paraphrasing the saying, but it's like, it takes one man to create a program in 2 weeks, but it takes but with two programmers, you can create the same program in 4 weeks. So it's basically like the idea that teamwork like doesn't always end up being like good. And it's like, if I think that there is something to be said about like splitting up work into teams being able to actually like function well. Like it works in some cases, but on the flip side, if you are doing the build and fix method of creating a product, a finished product, not knowing actually how the final product is going to end up being, then you run into the problem of just not being able to go ahead and coordinate with your team to have it fully function and work as well as you want it to. And since I didn't want to plan out the adventure map before I built it all, like I pretty much planned the adventure map as I built it, which was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. There was like flaws and positives to that. I'll discuss those in a little bit. Let's just continue on the same track. So I was like, I'm not in the right texture pack. Oh my god. Oh, how did I not notice that until just now? It doesn't matter that much since we're not really building much. We're just kind of replacing the mycelium. I want to change the texture pack anyway though. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll be back in just a bit here. Alright, so we're back. Theoretically, I didn't miss any messages, I don't think. Like when I look at my restream chat on the side here, I don't believe I missed any messages. But yeah, wow, mycelium looks like... I don't think I've actually seen mycelium in this texture pack before. Like, it definitely doesn't look bad. Like the other one, it definitely has like a weird kind of like purplish thing that it isn't really that great like of a color in my opinion. I think this one, like the texture of it all kind of makes it look a little bit smoother, which I like. It's definitely hard to 100% describe, but yeah, I do like the look of that as opposed to what we were looking at before. Seeing like the grass and stuff. I mean, I don't think dirt really changed much. It didn't change. It either didn't change much or it didn't change at all from what it is in the other texture pack. But nonetheless, it's still good to be able to look at this stuff. I think some of the mobs their textures change too, so you'll be able to see like different mushroom looks. The sheep are different, the pigs are different, and all that kind of stuff. It's just the beta pack that will eventually be what Minecraft looks like, but they're just testing out the textures to see how people like them and whether or not like everything actually matches up and if it's going to be fine. So we'll see how it all ends up working out. I think that the textures currently are alright. I do like the leaves. Like, I think that one person I was talking to didn't like how the leaves looked, but like I think that it's definitely like a good step in the right direction. Like that the leaves end up being making it so that they actually like don't look as blocky. Like, I know that Minecraft isn't necessarily like meant to be like a circular game that like isn't involved in blocks, but I kind of like the idea that the leaves actually like have shape to them and definition rather than it just being like a kind of weird block based like square grid. I think it's kind of weird though that like on the Nintendo Switch, the textures for some reason you can't see through them. Like when you look at jungle leaves on the Nintendo Switch, like all the other leaves, like if you have fancy leaves on, they're transparent, but like or translucent, I guess, because you can't see 100% through them. But yeah, that was just something I found interesting. It's almost as though, I guess, jungle leaves, like to be able to see through them, it takes up a lot more of like the game's resources to be able to see all that stuff. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue filling in this area. Hopefully it'll end up being quite nice and good as we go through fixing up everything. But yeah, that's one of the things I don't necessarily like too much about like the console edition of Minecraft though, is that every time you quit the game, it ends up like resetting your textures. So it makes it so that it's like, oh, I'm no longer on the beta texture pack. It's like I have to change it every time I load up the game. And if I forget to load it up, like at the beginning, I end up logging in and being all like, huh, this doesn't look quite right. Or, as I did right then, basically playing for almost an hour and a half without realizing that I wasn't in the right texture pack. So there's that too. And sheep, could you not? I'm kind of building here, or kind of. It's pseudo building. It's landscaping. I don't think that we're gonna have much time to actually do any of the rest of my plans. Like on my like stream stuff, it like said, like I think one of my panels like said, oh, we're going to work on mycelium replacement, design, build hotels, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think we're going to get past the mycelium replacement. Like, obviously, we could probably maybe get a start on, like, designing the hotels, since the gaming district needs the ability to be able to have you be able to go ahead and sleep at night, because setting your spawn and being able to clear phantoms and all that stuff and the rain, like all that kind of stuff, like that's definitely like a feature that is necessary. And I think that having hotels would be a really nice way to incorporate like a feature as though it's actually like an amusement park in which you're like trying to stay there for the night, and it'd be all like cool and stuff, and you know, just a nice little setup in that. Like, you have to pay the extra to be like on resort property. But yeah, we might not actually be able to do too much of that here. We might go into a testing world in which we can go ahead and end up designing them. But we'll see what we actually do for the rest of the stream, since we won't be able to design them that much. And we would have to pop off of the Craftaway Realm to do that. It might interrupt the flow by which we're already doing this episode by. Or the stream by. I guess it's not really an episode. Time to drink. All right. I am alone now. We had like a lurker on Twitch for a while there, but I'm pretty sure that that person left a while ago. Maybe as I mentioned them, they were all like, ah, you, I'm not going to be. I don't know. I am a lurker. I don't want to be mentioned. You know. I can feel that. But nonetheless, we're going to continue on the stream. Be able to have a nice little run through as we go all about trying to fill in this giant patch of dirt. And I think once we're done actually like doing all the dirt stuff here, then we actually might want to look at the map to see what kind of progress we made throughout the stream. Because I feel like we made a lot. But yeah. I don't necessarily know exactly how much we made until we end up looking at it. I was on the actual, now that I think about it, I was on the topic of Aztec Labs, but I think I got distracted. So, I was talking about how Aztec Labs, like, I completely like, changed the stuff, and I wanted to create an adventure map that was built by myself, and all that kind of stuff. So, I improv'd pretty much the entire thing. Like, I did have a basic story. Like, when I first started creating the map, I was all like, okay, I know this is going to be in a jungle. I want to create a name for the whole thing. And I was like, what kinds of civilizations live in a jungle? And then it turns out like, oh, the Aztec civilization and Mayan civilization. Eventually I came up with the name Aztec Labs, and I was like, okay, that's cool. You work for a laboratory. And like there's Aztec stuff, but what's the story? What's the beef? And I came up with the idea that, oh, I'm going to base off of mythology. Like I forget what the actual story was of like because it was like Aztec mycelium something. And it's like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I looked it up just now. I like said, Aztec mycelium, but I'm not seeing any information on that. I don't know, I have it in my notes. So I have like what the actual story was first based off of, but I kind of modified it so that it would actually like fit my needs. Because I didn't want to necessarily copy like word for word like the Aztec like lore, or I mean, that's a weird way to word it. Like, the Aztec lore, so it's like a fandom. They don't want to, like, be too truthful to the Aztec fandom. But, yeah. I feel like I kind of want to grab my shulker stuff from over here. So that once we work on this stuff, it won't be lost forever. Yeah, we'll just grab this and keep the stuff separate. But yeah, Let's go back more into like the topic of where we're going. I could talk all day about like where I came up with the idea for the story and all that, but it's like I had the general idea for the story. Like it was going to be like based around the that one Aztec story. I knew that there was going to be 5 missions because the Aztec story has like 5 parts to it. And it ended up being that even though I had the basic idea, I just didn't really know 100% how I was going to implement it. Because I went like one mission by one mission. Like I did the first mission first, in which I built the main like village that I was talking about earlier and all that kind of stuff. But it was very much improvised. Like there are parts of the story that I thought were going to happen, but never ended up making it to the map. I might discuss that later if I ever end up streaming Aztec Labs, which I might, because my birthday is on a Friday. I stream every Friday, so that means I'm going to stream my birthday. And that's actually, my birthday is actually when Aztec Labs first released, if you didn't know. Fun fact. And that'd be a good way to do it, like stream on the anniversary of Aztec Labs. But yeah, basically, it's like because it was improv, it's like it just like wouldn't have made sense to have built with a build team to be able to like do all that kind of stuff, since even I didn't know what to do with the map. Like the only way a build team works is if every one of you like has a plan, like can collaborate on it, like using maybe even like a Trello board or something to be able to make sure that you're all on the same page of who's doing what task and what parts are going to do what. But yeah, it was very much like an interesting experiment. And there are parts that I wish I could have changed with the map. Probably my biggest regret is having the laboratory like organized the way it was, because I think I was so focused on like creating like the mazes that I was talking about earlier that I accidentally made the actual hallways of the lab a maze. Because I have that as like a note, like if I ever do make another adventure map like Aztec Labs, I have it like down as a note, like don't make the hallways like a maze, leave that for the mazes, because you don't need the hallways to be something that players get lost in. That's just like not a good design for the entire thing. But that's that. It is what it is. Anyway, I think these are our last 2 pieces of dirt. I was going to talk about something else. Yeah, I am currently working on the story for a sequel to Aztec Labs. I haven't worked on the actual map yet. Or at least I thought I was working on the actual map. Scrapped it. Just deleted that world. It was all like, nope, it's not good enough. I'm just going to do that. And then I can go ahead and put these grass blocks wherever I want to. So I ended up making it so that I want to make the story before I finish any aspect of the map. Like I want to really write it together and be all like, am I writing myself into a dead end? Okay, no. And like make sure that everything's like perfectly fine up to my standards before I start. Because I want to organize the map in a way that's much better than it was before. I want to make it so that the actual size of the map isn't insanely large. It was 120 megabytes. Most Minecraft worlds are maybe like two, maybe 5. Some can end up being like 10, depending on how much like it's explored and all that. But yeah, it's just like an extremely large like undertaking and all that to be able to do. And I want it to be that it's like it actually ends up being planned correctly and fully good. So anyway, this is what the map looks like right now. Let's go ahead and like kind of fix like the border issues with like all of these here, so you can kind of like see it a little bit better. I think maybe some of these might update. I think we're a little bit too far for it to truly update the maps. But yeah, if we do that, then the borders around the maps like stop. On this side, it also fixes it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab some of these guys. I think we're actually going to put some of the mycelium that we've gathered into the chests here too, just to make sure it's out of the way. Because we have a lot that really just needs to be taken out of here, organized, and all that cool stuff. So these boxes can eventually be used for something else eventually. And we did a lot of mycelium placing and stuff. It's like, that was... honestly, we'll see how well we were able to get the different sections of the map done. Yeah, okay, that's just end stone, I was wondering. Because if it was like grass and I just didn't realize, then maybe we would be able to continue on after we move all this mycelium to the chest anyway, since shulker boxes, we don't want them to be filled so that we can actually replace stuff. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, the problem is with the map that I'm working on with like the sequel to Aztec Labs, I don't know about whether or not I want to do it. A part of me really wants to, and that part of me might just do it anyway. But the reason why I'm like reluctant is because Aztec Labs didn't do very well. Aztec Labs like just was a slightly successful map, but it wasn't very successful of a map. Because right now it like is about at 150 downloads or so, which is pretty good. But that's also accounting for that like I released multiple versions of the map and some of those downloads might be redone. So maybe it has 100 downloads. I also don't know in particular if when I went ahead okay, I totally did not do that in a good way. Let's hope I can go ahead and like look at these correctly. But yeah, so what was my train of thought again? I don't know. Let's just get water and then I'll probably think of it as I'm drinking. Oh, there we go. We're filling in some of the map here. It's no longer mycelium, but it is dirt still. So we do need to like probably AFK around here so that it actually ends up going ahead and being all right. Then we can go ahead and do that. A lot of that has now expanded into grass. We've been able to fill in that bit there, which is always very nice. And then we have this section, which I don't think changed much, since I don't think I actually changed the borders of the place all that much around here. But anyway, so we have like 3 different maps here. That one's that. That one's that. That one's that. So this one's supposed to be over here. That one's supposed to be over there. That one's supposed to be in the middle. There we go. Now I have it all sorted. But yeah, I don't know if there's more downloads for Aztec Labs than I think there are. Because one thing that happened that was really weird is that I got a giant boom on my Aztec Labs Life update trailer. Because that was the game update in which I added like villagers, had barrier blocks like added to various sections of the map, and just made it a little bit more lifelike. And that way I also had like bug fixes, like I added like a little bit more like trees and vegetation to the end of the map, had more directions at the beginning and all that kind of stuff. So there was this whole update. I made a video on it, and it just boomed, and I have no idea why. I think it was because like maybe an external site featured the map somehow, like without me realizing. But like the only problem with that is that I don't know how many people have downloaded the map through that site, due to the fact that it's not actually linked to my media fire. I'm pretty sure that what happened is that they gathered like the map download link, put it onto their website, added a link to my video so that it would like push them there. But I don't know exactly how many people like are downloading the map who watched that video. So maybe a lot of people are playing Aztec Labs. I don't know. Last time I checked YouTube, not many YouTubers have been playing the map, but maybe just a lot of people have been. It's just, I'll never know. I'll never know. But yeah, we've done a lot of progress in this stream, actually. Like, you can see this. Like, we had, like, a bunch of mycelium all over the place. There's still a little bit in that corner there that I still need to, like, make sure I be able to get. Like, in different places, you can see this. Like, I've definitely not been able to get all the mycelium. But, like, this is a lot better than it was before. So, yeah, definitely, like, a very good progress on the stream here. I don't know what we should do for the rest of the stream. How many people are watching? None. Okay. So I guess it's my decision of whether or not I want to call it. I believe that since we've basically done like all the terraforming, the island appears to be quite good. Kind of even fly up and be able to see like all the grass and stuff that's been placed over time. Hopefully it won't take that long in the future to be able to actually go ahead and replace the rest of the mycelium, since hopefully we'll be able to just gather enough grass over time to be able to just go ahead and call it good in these different areas here. But yeah, anyway, it's 15 minutes before I normally end the streams. Yeah. Even though it's 45, or not 45, even though it's 15 minutes before I normally end the stream, I don't think we're able to really design a hotel within 15 minutes. Because at first I was wondering, it's like, well, maybe if it was for the last 30 minutes of the stream, I would go ahead and be all like, okay, that's fine. But we don't have too much progress that can really be worked on now to be able to make it like all good. I might end up going ahead and transporting these skeleton horses back to my base, since I actually don't have very many anymore. They all died due to a bug in the game. But yeah, anyway. I would promise that the stream would go on forever, but that would be a lie. Follow me on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube to be able to catch when these videos end up coming online, or when these streams end up being online, and be able to check out the different series. If you did like this, This is Craftaway, so I do have multiple videos on this series on my channel, so you can go ahead and check those out. Did I see something on the roof? I feel like that could have been a skeleton horse that I saw. Maybe I just saw a cloud and thought it was like a mob up there, but it just was like my imagination. But, oh, pff, man, that was a lot of lag. But yeah, anyway. So, all that kind of stuff, follow me on social media to be able to catch up on more content like this. To be able to catch the replays of the stream, those are on the Behind the Frontline channel that you can see from my main channel page. To be able to catch up on all of that kind of stuff. I have like other streams that are on Craftaway and other games as well. But anyway, until next time, this has been Frontline, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye.